Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. This is the Sergey Kovalev versus Canelo Alvarez prediction, and we're just going to break it down honestly, objectively, and unbiasedly as we always do. And so we're going to start off with Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev in his most recent performances, he put on a great display against a guy like, Canelo Alvarez, coming back in the rematch. Pretty much outclassing him boxing-wise, using his jab, wasn't headhunting, showed that he is still the crusher. He's still a top-level, elite-level fighter. After he lost to Canelo Alvarez, people said he was no longer the crusher. He was no longer elite. He was no longer the guy that should be feared, and he completely dominated him in the rematch. So if you take all the accolades away from him after the first fight, do you get him back after the second? Sergey Kovalev showed that he's not to be played with, and this was an undefeated Canelo Alvarez who was heavily favored to beat him in the rematch. And then Sergey Kovalev moves on and beats another undefeated fighter, this time with the jab. Stopped him with the jab, and a young, hungry fighter in Anthony Yarde, a very strong fighter, highly touted prospect, a type of contender actually that was being touted for his knockout power and his abilities. And he hurt Sergey Kovalev in that fight. Sergey Kovalev showed his experience and showed the power of his jab, showed the power of his, ring IQ and being able to get past that, weather that storm, and get the victory. And then you have to be honest when you see that Sergey Kovalev, one of his main deficiencies and weaknesses is his body. And pretty much anybody would have an issue if you wear their body out, but Sergey Kovalev seems to be a little bit more weak to the body than most people, and so you see against Andre Ward, when he was stopped to the body, a lot of people making comparison that Canelo Alvarez, who's an elite level body attacker, may stop him to the body, and I think that's a very likely scenario. Sergey Kovalev has an elite level jab. Canelo Alvarez has faced an elite level jab. One may be better than his was Triple G's when he was at his peak when Canelo Alvarez fought him. Canelo Alvarez let a lot of shots slide off. He dodged and he actually countered a lot of those jabs. Canelo Alvarez used his great reflexes and defense. Even Abel Sanchez said against Triple G that they never truly hit Canelo Alvarez flush as they could because Canelo Alvarez defense was so good. So let's just be honest about the prediction. We're picking Canelo Alvarez to win this fight. I haven't made a decision whether it's going to be a decision victory or a knockout victory, but I just know that Canelo Alvarez will win the fight. And the way I look at it is that I understand that Canelo's reflexes and defense will be on point. I know, a lot of people saying, can Canelo take these shots? He's not going to get hit cleanly and flush as many times as Anthony Yarde was hit. Anthony Yarde was hit a lot of time clean and flush, and he just simply doesn't have the defense, reflexes, or speed or experience that Canelo Alvarez has. Canelo Alvarez has an elite level ring IQ, speed, reflexes, and defense. So that's going to be a problem for Sergey Kovalev. I think Canelo Alvarez at times is going to pretty much close the distance with Sergey Kovalev and walk him down at points. And I know a lot of people saying, hey, what is that? Sergey Kovalev can't get off his jab, cannot get off great, powerful shots if he cannot extend his arms. And Canelo Alvarez has to close that gap to make sure. Canelo Alvarez is going to go to the body. He's going to go upstairs. He's going to prevent a varied attack. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez fights from a distance at times and then other times closes the gaps. He's going to have to get in and out of the pocket consistently and keep showing different looks to Sergey Kovalev, and all the while using his defense as a way to avoid all of the big shots that Sergey Kovalev is going to throw. I think Canelo Alvarez is going to, take him into deep waters. I think that's when Sergey Kovalev is weak, after the 6th, 7th, and 8th round. I think, at that point, anywhere from the 8th round to the 10th round, you should be looking for a stoppage. If it goes past that, it still favors Canelo Alvarez for a decision victory, but he's more likely to get a stoppage, anywhere between the 8th and the 10th round. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.